Over the last decades, I have heard every form of cowardice. I've heard every flavor of excuse. I have heard every color of rationale, excuse-making, lying, cowardice, backsliding, and everything else to avoid taking accountability. The descendants of slaves in America are only 13% of the population. And yet, look what we have accomplished. Even historically only being 10% of the American population, look what we have accomplished as only around 10% of the population. And yet I've got Africans who are 90 and 95 and 98% of the population in their respective home countries coming to me whining and talking about what they can't do and what they can't get accomplished for us on African soil. I hear them talking about, well, you gotta understand what it is that the white folks won't let us do. Okay, we're 13% of the population, and you're coming to me talking about what white folk on your native soil, quote, won't allow you to do? You're coming to those of us who did it at 13% of the population. Well, you don't understand, see, they are violent, as if these white supremacists here in America aren't just as violent? Not trying to hear that. What the issue is, we didn't have a fallback position. That's the difference. We didn't have a place that we could flee to. It was do or die, fight or perish. If you were in Africa, you could flee to the Caribbean, you could flee to London, you could flee to other places. We didn't have that option of fleeing anywhere. So when I'm listening to somebody else who had all kinds of advantages, here in America, we celebrate when a black person is elected the mayor of a city or the governor of a state. When a black person is elected to be the district attorney, we celebrate that here because we never had one before. And then you're gonna have black folk in Africa who you got nothing but black mayors, black governors, black district attorneys. You're sitting here trying to give me a sob story? That is reprehensible and offensive to me. That you're gonna come here on the people who have put in the most work and then tell me that we gotta put in more work for you. But when I go to Nigeria, I don't see anybody rolling out no red carpets for me. You can go visit Haiti, but nobody is trying to make you, as a black American, a Haitian citizen. Have you seen the citizenship requirements if you want to become a Haitian citizen? Never mind dual citizenship because you can't get it. But they come here and tell you and me what they're entitled to, and then want to sit up here and complain. Brothers and sisters, somebody asked me, this talk about us being the descendants of slaves and making that distinction, is that against Pan-Africanism? And my response to you is that Pan-Africanism is a two-way street. And some people have been operating under the misconception that Pan-Africanism is a one-way street where the people who do all the work and paved the road of that street are here to serve and bow and scrape to the individuals who have laid not a brick. It's black people in America who revere Emperor Haile Selassie. Have you met a Ugandan who speaks of Idi Amin the way that we talk about him? Do you see Ethiopians speaking of Haile Selassie with the reverence that we do here in America? Does the Republic of the Congo speak about Patrice Lumumba's legacy the way that Africans in America speak about and keep alive the legacy of Patrice Lumumba? And I can go down the list. You want to know who had reverence for Nelson Mandela? It wasn't South Africans. They didn't have it. There was no apartheid affecting us here in America, but black people in America made up our minds that we would leave no African behind, and there was nothing for us to gain. Let me say this in absolutely no uncertain terms. Black people in America are the sole heirs of what it means to be an African. Black people in Africa are going to have to learn it from us because they have nothing to teach us. They're the ones who abandoned it. We're the ones who have sustained it. A bunch of black folk from Africa who never used the term Pan-Africanism before now. What the hell kind of reverse psychology whoring are you trying to do? That's never been a word in your vocabulary, and I will not let it go unsaid because I owe it to that immortal ancestor, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, whose legacy is Pan-Africanism, but that legacy has been maintained by us. Jamaica did not bow to him. Jamaica did not treat him like the king walking that he was. We give esteem to Marcus Mosiah Garvey because of his accomplishments. And if it weren't for black folk in America, the descendants of the slaves, there would be no mentioning Marcus Garvey's name. Tell me about what it means to be a Pan-Africanist. Want to sit up here and try to yank out phrases that mean something to us. You think you're gonna be slick and play some kind of reverse psychology. No, I gotta see your track record on Pan-Africanism before I let you utter those words. Show me the Pan-African movement in Nigeria. I'll wait. Show me the Pan-African movement in Burundi, in the Congo, in Ethiopia, in Uganda, in Rwanda, in Sudan, in Chad, in Nigeria. Show me the Pan-African movement in South Africa outside of Julius Malema. I'll wait. Show me the Pan-Africanist movement of Jamaica with their multi-million-dollar Asian investments. Show me where they are. Show me the Pan-Africanist movement of Haiti. Show me the Pan-Africanist movement of the Dominican Republic. Show me the Pan-Africanist movement outside of the United States. And then I got niggas, and I said it the way I meant it. Then we got niggas outside of America trying to whine, talking about, but these folks is mean. Y'all don't want to shed no blood. But you're coming here to the place of the people who have the guts to shed the blood, and then gonna sit up here and tell us what we owe you. Let me make this very, very clear. The descendants of the slaves owe you nothing. You owe us all. You owe us everything. We owe you nothing. And that is the reason why we are saying that the bill has come due. Because you have benefited off of the blood that we've spilled on American soil. Ain't no benefits for me in Africa. There's no benefits for me there because you ain't spilled no blood. Ain't nobody leaving America and going to Africa and becoming a millionaire. There's nobody going over there talking about I made it big, and we made it possible for you. Overcoming presidents like Woodrow Wilson, Andrew Jackson, and all the others who made it very, very clear what their view was on African immigration. You wouldn't be able to stand on the soil were it not for us. We were the ones who made it possible for you to stand on this soil, and then you gonna try to turn up your ass at us? It was black Americans, the descendants of slaves, getting lynched, the descendants of slaves getting Jim Crowed, the descendants of slaves who stood up for Garvey, the descendants of slaves who stood up for Patrice Lumumba, the descendants of slaves who enamored Haile Selassie. We were the ones who made it possible for you to be able to do that, and then you're gonna step here and act like somehow something you did is just divine providence that you were able to stand here? No. It was not divine providence. It was the descendants of the slaves' providence.